Hey friend, Diana here. This is a follow-up video from Misty, why I sold at a 22K loss. So if you haven't seen that yet, I'll post that in the link below. And we're going to talk about taxes. So I thought I was able to write off my entire loss of 22K. And unfortunately, after looking at the IRS laws here in the US, I could only write up to $3,000 per year. So I can carry that forward on the years ahead, but I can't write it off completely this year, even though I spent over 50 grand buying the Misty shares and lost 22K, but I got dividend distribution. So I will be taxed with my dividend distributions because it falls into a different tax category. So I will be taxed capital gains from my dividend distributions of $23,000. And even though I had a 22K loss, I can't write it off. Now, I did find a way that I can actually write it off is if you sell for a profit. So for example, I am planning on selling my MicroStrategy shares the end of this year. Hopefully Bitcoin peaks and MSTR increases in value, and then I will sell, right? So right now I have 170 shares at $330 per share price. And I'm planning on selling those when Bitcoin peaks and taking that profit. So let's say I made $30,000 on MSTR. Well, then I can subtract 22,000 in loss from my Misty shares. So if you're thinking that you can write off more than 3,000, there are some ways to do that. Check with your, CPA, your tax professional, but this is my plans of how to do that by selling my other shares so that I can write it off as an expense. Comment below if you have a better idea, but that's my plan. All right, I thought it would be fun for me to kind of answer some of the questions or giving some of the feedback from the comments from the last video. So let's go ahead and pull those up. I thought it would be fun for us to take a look at some of the comments together. Helio, I didn't get to yours yet. I will respond to each one, I promise. It's just I had a board meeting this morning and then I had another Zoom session, so I was just all over the place. Okay, let's see here. Maybe it's just down now and we'll be up in a couple months. We'll see what happens. Let's see here. Nibs, you sold 4,700 shares of Misty. That's an insane amount of money. Served a purpose. And now you're in some other weekly players. Well, I have Ulti still right now. I have 1,500 shares of Ulti, and I'm undecided whether or not I'm going to sell that. So comment below if you think I should or keep them. I'm at $5.80 per share at the moment, and it's hovering around $5.40. So let's see here. Want to recover a little more on Misty and I'm out. That was probably a good call, Pickle. Harvey says, why would you think MSTR will go in line with Misty? One is a treasure counter, another is a main call selling counter. Well, it's not directly correlated, but it was such a great disparity between the prices. So I showed you in the last video that it was like hovering around a $20 range when MSCR was in the $300 range. And then it just dropped significantly in September. And it's really hard for these ETFs, these YieldMax ETFs that I've noticed anyhow, to recover that price point. So will it even reach in the $20 range again? I don't know, but I'm just not willing to sit around and wait to see that happen or plummet. Fred, not financial advice. The whole point of Misty is to earn income. That's right. Not meant to grow like an ETF, but you did a good job selling. Thanks, Fred. Cheers to you. Here's some coconut water. Cheers. Okay. Salam or Shalom. Bitcoin is going to the moon, MSTR will follow, and Misty will blow your mind. All right, let's see that happen. I'm all for it. Okay, all for that. I didn't get to answer you final Man Army, one man army. That's a really long username. Holy cow. 9221. Misty pays out dividends close to 100%. All you need is to go flat and you're beating MSTR. Look at the chart if you want to see the ratio. I did look at the chart. For tax reasons, it's often better to just own underlying stock instead of YieldMax ETF if you're not day trading and you can hold it for years. I was planning on holding Misty for a while before actually selling before the crypto winter, of course, but it just, you know, it dropped to the point where I was about to lose my capital investment and I was not ready to take that risk, so had to sell. All right, Scott sold it in August at $17. Cost basis was 19. At least you only had 65 shares, so it wasn't such a huge loss. And I'm sorry you did lose. It kind of sucks to lose money, doesn't it? Daniel Gonzalez, you should have held. The MSCR narrative is a long-term one, and Misty should track MSCR. It didn't. When MSTR gets back to $540, Misty should follow back around 35 to 40 per share. I don't think so, Daniel. You know, I hope I'm wrong, but let's be honest here. If it reaches the $20 range, that would be remarkable, but I just don't really I doubt that's happening, okay? John Glass, wait until crypto winter next year. Misty will be where Ulti is now, under $6. Maybe. Maybe. Gold Gilder. You should have sold. Oh my gosh, you're doing these calls, puts, strangles, all this other stuff. I don't know how to do that. Okay, like I was a long-term like investor. I held my stocks forever unless I needed to sell it for a large purpose or if I had to um sell it because it was just not performing really well for long term, like silver. I owned silver for a really long time and I sold it at a loss just because it never recovered. It did now. Silver's doing good now, but I don't have that. I'm not touching that anymore. Um, I wish I knew how to do all these advanced trading strategies, but I just don't, and I don't want to lose money. Tom Lindley, I'm holding Misty, collecting, reinvesting in some TSYY for now. Peace. Peace out, Tom. Good luck. Mark, the problem is these leverage plays. Decay is the word. Decay is the word. Yes. I don't think anyone really understands MSCR stock. No. Okay, MSCR just keeps diluting shares to buy more Bitcoin. That's all it is. That's all it does. His shares are very expensive, do not reflect the price movements of Bitcoin. Yep. Yep. Agree. I don't know how to say your name. Is it Cryon? Shurian? Misty is a dividend preferred share, not the yield version. The one you should get is MSTU. Okay, I've done conclusive research. I've concluded from my research. I'm not gonna edit that out because I just don't feel like it. But MSTY was a clear winner because of the high distribution rates, and that's why I chose that over MSTU. I even used Grok, okay? I used all these platforms and they said Misty was supposed to be better. That's why I chose that one. Hitman, you should watch. I looked up this person, KHMER. I did not find any trader on that. It was like a whole bunch of like different language stuff when I typed that in. I don't know. Market Math Cats, congrats on seeing through the voodoo of these yield funds. I'm not sure I would consider it voodoo. I mean, that's like black magic stuff, but hey, okay. Thanks. Deacon Saylor kept diluting despite what he originally promised shareholders. I know, Deacon. Okay, when I got the announcement and I read that there was a strategy, like if the NAV premium is hits this level, that he's only going to buy this amount, or he's not going to buy it, or whatever, all of these criteria, I was like, finally, some way or method on stopping this crazy ATMing, and he totally did, didn't he? He just ignored his own parameters. I'm disappointed. Saylor, if you ever see this video, stop it. I know your goal is to buy Bitcoin, but us shareholders, well, not all of us, but maybe just me. I really want to see price appreciation, okay? Ah, all right. Oh, you sold 6,500 shares of Misty at break even. Glad I did. I'm glad you did too. I mean, for your sake. Dead fire, Bitcoin is going to hit its newest high this month in the last 4 weeks of its cycle. You don't know that dead fire. Maybe. I mean, it could happen December. I remember a few years ago when I bought in, what was it, 2017? It happened in December, from what I recall. Misty MSTR will be going up a bit. How high is the question? We'll find out, right? Hopefully we celebrate. Alter ego. Holy crap, 82% dividend. I understand the appeal, but what kind of option strategy makes that kind of money? The one that has NAV erosion on the stock price, and you saw what happened to me, right? Herb Ewan, how close were you to return on capital? About $1,000. Uh, it's not a good deal to sell. Just keep cashing out house money. Yeah, I didn't want to sell. I love those dividends, but couldn't risk it. Carolina Beach. Are you my neighbor, Carolina Beach? Sold a few weeks ago, even after dividends Misty started becoming a money pit. I know. It's scary, right? Investing with Adam. Hey Adam, I'm gonna check out your channel. Maybe you do some investing tips. Did you learn a lesson about the stupidity of YieldMax funds? Um, yeah, I still have LT. We'll see what happens with that, but yes, I did. Torin, in my experience, income strategy, dividend stocks don't play as well as simple S&P 500. There are other mutual funds and ETFs that perform better. I looked at SPMO. Thank you for that suggestion. I might do a video on it. I'm not sure, but I will be doing a lot of research. I do tons of research, like days or weeks worth of research before I invest any money. Rambler, MSTR will be back up. I hope so. I own MSTR, so it was a good P trader. It was a good idea to cut your loss. Thanks. Crazy Waffle King, what are your plans with the money from the sale? Well, right now I have it in a high yield savings account, and I'm waiting for my favorite stocks to drop in price. So, for example, one of them is Tesla, and it's hovering around the $400 range. I'm not spending $400. The last time I bought Tesla, which was a few months ago, was $215. So I'm not spending $400 range. I will touch Tesla again under $300. And hey, don't give me any hate comments down below that it's never going to do that. Tesla is known to have periods where, high volatility and it could drop. So anything can happen. Anything can happen. But I will definitely be loading up under 300. So I'm saving my money for that. And my other favorite stocks. Let me know if you want me to do a video on my favorite stocks. Helixan, sorry if I butchered your name there. BTC topped in August. I don't believe so. I don't think that we saw the BTC top, Bitcoin top. Yeah, I really don't. September historically is a pullback month for crypto and stocks in general. They sell off to make room for October, November, December run. I agree. Stay out of anything crypto. Yeah, I haven't touched anything crypto. I bought earlier this year and years ago. So I will be selling when Bitcoin is at its peak. Everything's gonna go this year. I was thinking about keeping my Solana bag, but I don't know. I think I might sell that too. Gold Gilder, why didn't you hold? It's up 20% higher now. You never know. It could have dropped just as easily as gone up, and couldn't risk my capital. Korean boy, ouch. I should get out as well. I'm with MSTE and MST. Hey, Korean boy, you gotta do what's right for you under your circumstances and your risk tolerance. So good luck to you. How do we come up with these usernames? Okay, that is a real question of today. Sid Larid. I sold all YieldMax. Well, I hope you made some profit. Outdoor living, bad move, girl. Like you guys call me a girl and I'm like a full grown woman, but okay. MSCR is within a week or two a big move up to $700. Come back to this video a week or two because I doubt that. $700 is my low and your target. Okay, maybe by the end of the year, but not in 1 or 2 weeks. Definitely not. I mean, could happen, but not likely. Ruculent. Wait for MSCR to bottom out over the next while. It's price action that does not look healthy right now. I agree. Could dip into the low 200s, maybe. Then reassess when it starts breaking back up again and either just buy MSTX. Yeah, I looked at MSTX. I did a lot of research comparing all the ETFs. Yeah, I'm not touching any ETF again. Not forever, but not the ones that are correlated with MSTR. Sorry, I'm just not doing that anymore. Uh, Ikimaso. Ikimaso. I lived in Hawaii for nearly a decade and I loved my Japanese neighbors and Japanese friends. I think when MSTR was excluded from S&P 500, surpassed by Hood, I was looking at Hood. I was going to buy Hood in April this year. It was like, I think it was about $45. I was staring at it. I was like, should I buy it? Should I not? Well, I didn't. I wish I did. It showed that MSCR is going to be down a few more months before it ever recovers. Yeah, I think maybe by the end of December, maybe January, we could get MSCR in the S&P 500. Who knows? I mean, Saylor and his ATMing is driving me nuts. M. Wong, Mr. Wong, gain dividends 23K. Loss NAP, I don't know, 22K. You lost nothing. Yep, you're right. It was like a $1,000 difference of gain. Jamie, you're what called a bag holder after you buy your pump. Uh, yeah, Jamie, you said something like down here. Maybe you should watch more videos on trading than making them. At first, I was a little bit insulted. It was like, dagger. It's true though. I responded very politely. I said, either way, yes, it's a good idea to learn from profitable traders because we all need to be reasonable and nice. Mastiff, Axel in the same boat. Yeah, I'm sorry if you lost money. Derive Capital, you should never bought them. There's a million videos telling people to stay away from YieldMax and Misty. Yeah, you still got gutted. I did. I did. Scott's son, me too. Sorry. Sorry for your loss. What income generator are you looking at now? The most innovative company in the world is Tesla, and that's my numero uno for right now. I have a long history with Nvidia, a very sad one. If you want me to tell you that story, put that down below and I'll tell you my sob story of Nvidia. Self-inquiry, you're gonna regret it when MSTR went up. Why would I regret that? I have MSTR. I would be super happy if it goes up to $2,500. And Zulu Pilot cooked. Not sure what you mean by that, but I'm thinking that like I got burned or something. I don't know. Sometimes I don't know the lingo. So sometimes. All right, thank you so much for collaborating with me. I know there's so many other YouTube videos out there that you could be watching right now, so I appreciate you. Let's connect and comment below what your feedback is on Misty, MSTR, the tax things that I just mentioned. Is that something you're concerned about? I don't know because I am. I don't want to necessarily pay more taxes than I don't have to. And I have some links down for you below, so check those out. Hope to see you next time. Bye for now.